Well, parents are trying to protect their kids from everything from bullying to online dangers. But as childhood changes, are kids getting enough independence to build confidence and resilience?
We are not the experts on this, but we know someone who is. 9 News parenting expert Dr. Sheryl Ziegler joining us now to talk about finding that balance. So let's start with independence. Why is independence so important to a child's mental health?
It's actually critical because when you have independence, that means you're trying new things. That means you're going outside of your comfort zone. You're exploring, you're problem solving. And when you have opportunities to do that, then you have opportunities to build competence. When we build competence, that's how we trust ourselves. And so that's how kids get that confident way, and they have high self-esteem and they trust themselves, is because they've been out there in the world trying things, failing at things, talking to different people, ordering their own meals, whatever it might be. And so they have that sense of like, oh, I can do this. Yep. And so for our mental health, when we have struggles, we have to have experiences that say you've been going through hard times, you've done that, and you know how to be successful in it. You can do this too.
No, that makes perfect sense. So how do we know the balance, right? Because we hear all the things about stranger danger or online bullying or even some of these like online, almost like predations, right? So what is the balance? Is it tough to strike? What would you say? Do you have any words of wisdom there?
I do. I'd say I think parents sometimes can get focused on what their fears are, like getting hit by a car or being approached by a stranger. And while those things are obviously very serious, I'm not minimizing them. Just statistically, there's less of a probability of those kinds of things happening versus the things that are driving kids indoors, right? So if we don't let them walk to the playground by themselves, ride their bike around the neighborhood, then what are they doing? Then they're staying inside the house or online, and what we know there is there's actually a lot of danger there. Right. And it doesn't feel physical necessarily, so parents can probably tolerate that discomfort more, but actually when we're looking at their mental health, it appears that more time on their screens and online is more dangerous to them than some of the things that they may encounter outside of the home. So I don't think it needs to be one or the other. It needs to be a balanced approach.
I want to ask you more about that, but I will tell you, maybe you've figured this out just by working with me. I had like the most overprotective mom in the history of moms. And like honestly, every time an ambulance siren went off, she'd assume that I was involved in whatever was going on.
True.
And she literally, I left the house, I was already driving, left the house, the ambulance siren starts like 2 minutes later. She literally had my friend across the street run up the street to see if I was involved in whatever was happening. Now that's taking it too far, would be my opinion, having now also raised a couple of kids. But you brought up a great point. It seems like kids are having far less independence outside their home, and they're getting too much independence online. So how the heck do we turn that corner and change that?
I think one question a parent can ask themselves is, does this feel like this is age appropriate? And even if they have to look it up, right? My kid is 9. Should I allow them to ride their bikes to school? Should I allow them to walk to school? Maybe I'm a little uncomfortable with them doing that alone, but I think I'd be okay if they were with a group of kids, right? I'm trying to go through the way you're gonna problem solve. It's not black or white, like allow them to do this and don't allow them to do that. If you know your own kid, number one, you know where you live, number two, right? And there are certain inherent risks we take, right? When we send our kids off to school, there's a little bit of that like, oh, they're not in the confines of your home. So weigh out those balances and like weigh that out. And then the other thing is really around confidence is when they are with you, there's still independence they can have when you're around. That independence might be you choose what you're gonna wear, you choose what you're gonna order, and you're gonna order it. Oh, you need more water? You ask the server if they can get you more water. There's things like that that we can be doing that are just as impactful.
That's great advice. Really quickly, we don't have much time, but one takeaway that parents can apply right now this week.
It's almost back to school time. We've got a little bit of time left in summer. Know that if you allow your kid more of that independence, they're going to get to where you want them to be, which is more self-assured no matter what their age. So think of one thing today that you could do to allow independence.
Dr. Ziegler, thanks for coming on this morning.